Hello my friends, you're on the front porch with Walter today. It's a pretty day. It was a little chilly this morning. Not much going on, just hanging around the house. As I talk to you this morning, I think we'll watch traffic go by. Traffic's kind of light for a Friday. Later this afternoon they'll be buzzing up and down this road. Today I will share a story with you. At the time I was forced to retire after 34 years of service with Norfolk Southern Railroad due to having sustained an injury that left me physically unable to do many of the tasks required to do my job. The title of my story is Nostalgia. Nostalgia affects virtually everyone, no matter what field of endeavor they may pursue. My opinion is that if a person isn't affected by feelings of nostalgia at one time or another, then they aren't normal or have not yet matured. I think it's something that affects older people much more than our young people. Several dictionaries define it, although in my opinion, the scholars that came up with these definitions fell short of the mark, but hopefully it'll give you a better understanding of what I'm referring to. A sense of acute homesickness, from the Latin and Greek word nostos, sentimental recollection, a mixed feeling of happiness, sadness, or longing, recalling a person, place, or event from the past, a longing or wistful affection for the past, sentimental remembrance, or longing for people, places, possessions, or experiences of the past. I was asked the other day by a friend and fellow carman if now that I'm no longer with the railroad, if I missed it. It got me to remembering certain things in my life, and I began this self-analysis of sorts, and this story is the results of it. I'm sure that nobody would miss the drudgery of physical work, but I personally enjoyed working with the railroad. But many can't wait to leave and never look back. But they will in time when some event or memory of things triggers their nostalgic feelings they have for things they had fondness for, often things they didn't appreciate before. We all have these triggers I referred to, and I will but list just a few of mine. When I was in the Navy, I developed a lot of triggers that provoked feelings of nostalgia. I often had to stand long hours of guard duty, standing alone on the quarterdeck, while the rest of the crew either slept or was away on liberty. And to overcome the weariness of walking back and forth, carrying a gun, and the constant need to remain alert, I developed certain pleasures. What in the world is this fool talking about, you may wonder? Well, I will tell you. I learned that I enjoyed the sounds of tugboats busy tooting their horns to signal each other as they moved ships around. Just hearing a tugboat now will provoke nostalgia. I developed a fondness for working alone, something that followed me through my entire railroad career. There are lots of triggers, like hearing the sound of waves lapping on the side of the hull, or hearing the ship's bell, or the sound of passing ship's screws churning the water. I suppose that when I developed those feelings, it was just to break the monotony, but I was developing fond memories at the same time. There was a lot of things I liked and disliked regarding working at the railroad. Not many became my triggers, but quite a few did. It's my opinion, if you can't develop these triggers, then you should be doing something else instead. You can't always do what you like to do. So learning what you do like about what you must do makes it easier to do. That's one way of your mind helps to deal with life's more difficult and tedious tasks. My fond memories with the railroad will always remain with me, and occasionally a trigger will bring them to mind. Memories like riding down the main line while sitting out on the boom car of the derrick instead of cooped up in one of the coach cars, or just feeling the wind blow in my face, watching the world go by and deriving a good feeling from it rather than dwell on the hard day you spent dragging heavy cables up and down the banks to various derailed and overturned rail cars. I really enjoyed standing in the open top doorway of one of the coaches and listening to the clickety-clack on the rails and the approaching and then fading ding 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 of crossing gate bells we passed as we moved through the countrysides of Georgia, and occasionally returning the waves of people along the way. I always felt a great sense of accomplishment after completing a difficult job. Many triggers may come to mind as time goes by. Perhaps it will be the sound of a distant train blowing for a crossing, or some sound or some event that will bring on a case of nostalgia. I don't mean homesickness, as one definition put it, but rather a pleasant feeling brought on by a fond memory, or being touched by a bit of sadness due to the realization that it won't come again. If you ponder at all what I'm saying stop and think what life deals us, and what your triggers, both past and future, may be, and learn to appreciate them. Perhaps it may be the smell of bacon cooking, and you will remember a lost loved one who used to cook bacon for you. It can be just about anything, perhaps the sound of a baby crying or a dog barking, or the smell of pipe tobacco, or the sight of a familiar object or someone who reminds you of someone else. If I could offer one bit of advice regarding nostalgia, it would be simply this. Learn to appreciate what you have. Take time to stop and smell the roses. To end this story, I will answer my friend's question. Yes, my friend, I guess I do miss working for the railroad. Well, my friends, I appreciate you stopping by on the porch and visiting with me today. I appreciate you one and all. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click on the button down below. Won't do you no harm. Might do you some good. Thanks for watching, my friends.